Some matches stay with you, not because of the score, not even the trophy, but because something happened that felt impossible. On the night of May 25th, 2005, the world of football stopped. Two teams stepped onto the pitch in Istanbul. AC Milan, a machine, refined, experienced, beautiful to watch, and Liverpool, a storm, unpredictable, emotional, never quiet. What happened over the next 120 minutes was madness, was magic, was football. See, Istanbul wasn't just a final, it was the final chapter in two very different journeys. And to understand that night, we need to go back. Liverpool's path started in July 2004. Not the group stage, but the qualifiers. They weren't supposed to make it this far. New manager, Rafa Benitez. Quiet, tactical. No silverware in England yet. With a mix of new and old stars, Liverpool had Xabi Alonso, the elegant passer from Spain. Luis Garcia is unpredictable, sometimes brilliant and other times invisible. And of course, Steven Gerrard, the heartbeat. They squeezed past Grazake, stumbled through the group and needed a miracle to qualify. That moment came versus Olympiacos. Gerrard's goal in the 86th minute, the one that shook Anfield and sent them through.
Lovely cushioned header, but Gerrard! You beauty!
Milan's journey was different. They came as giants, Champions League winners in 2003, finalists in 2004. This was their third deep run in a row. Their squad? It read like a football fantasy. They have Maldini, the captain, the icon. Nesta, one of the best defenders in history. Cafu, the Brazilian locomotive. Pirlo, a genius in slow motion. Kaká, just 22 and already terrifying. Shevchenko, the Ballon d'Or winner. And of course, Carlo Ancelotti, calm, ice cold on the touchline, and much more. They didn't scrape by, they dominated. Topping a group with Barcelona and Shakhtar, brushing past Manchester United and controlling both legs of the semi-final like it was training. Liverpool were the dreamers, Milan were the architects, and that's what made it perfect. One team with nothing to lose. One team who looked unbeatable. Rafa Benitez always measured, we have spirit, that counts for something. Ancelotti, calm as ever, we respect Liverpool, but we are ready. Gerrard called it the biggest night of my life. Maldini, he'd played over 600 games for Milan and still walked out like it was his first final. The Ataturk Stadium was packed with over 70,000 fans. 40,000 came from Liverpool, some without tickets, some sleeping in parks.
We haven't come all this way for nothing.
We're going to win it tonight.
Liverpool, we love them.
And been one of Liverpool's very best men throughout the knockout round.
Milan fans came in smaller numbers, but they didn't need noise. They had certainty. The stage was set. And when the teams lined up, it felt heavy. The red shirts of Liverpool, the white of AC Milan, like ghosts of football past. No one knew what was coming, but we were about to witness a match that would break and rebuild football logic. In the space of 2 hours, and then the whistle blew. From the very first touch, it was clear. Milan weren't here to play a final. They were here to finish a job. 53 seconds, that's all it took. Pirlo swings in a curling free kick. And who else? Paolo Maldini.
Pirlo will take, and it's volleyed, and it's in! A goal in 50 seconds from Milan! Oh, would you believe it? Paolo Maldini, the skipper, has scored it!
The 36-year-old with 8 Champions League finals scores, and it's 1-0. Milan led. Before Liverpool had even settled into their shape, the oldest goalscorer in Champions League final history just wrote the first line of the night. From there, Milan began to dictate. Not with pace, but with rhythm, with intelligence, with total control. Pirlo and Gattuso. One the artist.
Pirlo, who's the anchor man in the Milan midfield, there's no flag.
The other, the bodyguard.
Gattuso forcing it back to...
Kaká was floating, untouchable, like poetry in motion. Every time he touched the ball, you held your breath. Liverpool were chasing shadows. They pressed, but Milan didn't panic. They passed, and Milan punished. Alonso couldn't get the rhythm.
And the physiotherapist on the sideline, I'm not sure he's going to be able to continue.
Gerrard tried to drag the game forward, but it was like dragging a ship through a storm. 38th minute. Kaká picks up the ball deep in his half, turns and accelerates. 3 red shirts in his wake. He threads a pass like a knife through butter. Shevchenko peels wide and cuts it across. Hernan Crespo, tap it in.
Crespo in support. Here's Hernan Crespo, 2-0.
2-0, just like that. Ruthless, cold, professional. You couldn't even blame Liverpool's defence. Milan were that good. 2 minutes later, 44th minute, Kaká again. 1 touch to control. Second touch, an outside of the foot pass from midfield. It splits Liverpool's back line in half. Crespo is through.
Kaká, and what a pass too for Crespo, and what a goal that is. What a goal that is.
1-on-1, and he doesn't just score, he caresses the ball. A delicate chip over Dudek. 3-0, not just a lead, a humiliation. In a Champions League final, the Liverpool end, 40,000 voices, silent. Men with flags stopped waving. Children stared at the grass. Some fans turned away, and others cried. The team looked broken, not just tired, not just outplayed, beaten. At halftime, AC Milan had delivered a footballing lesson. Every pass meant something. Every move had purpose. Maldini had a goal. Kaká had destroyed a midfield. Crespo had a brace. It was clinical, and it was beautiful. A team operating at the height of its power. Champions-elect. One half away. In the tunnel, Liverpool walked off heads down. Gerrard dragging his legs, Dudek shaking his head. 3-0 at the half. In a final, against AC Milan, it felt over. It should have been over. Sometimes, the greatest comebacks don't come from tactics, or substitutions, or speeches. Sometimes, they come from belief. In the Liverpool dressing room, there wasn't shouting. There weren't any water bottles thrown. No fiery speeches. Just silence.
If you came in the dressing room in 2005 and heard the manager address us, you probably wouldn't have known whether we are winning 3-0 or losing 3-0, because he was dead calm, he was very pragmatic.
Until Jamie Carragher shouted furiously, and Benitez changed the team shape. He pulled off Steve Finnan, brought on Dietmar Hamann, switched to a 3-5-2, one extra man in midfield. A little more control, a little more hope. No one expected it to matter, but it did. The second half kicked off. Milan didn't change a thing. Why would they? Same shape, same control, same aura. But Liverpool, something had shifted. Hamann brought calm. Gerrard stepped forward. Carragher screamed every second. Still, no one believed. Not until minute 54.
It was Gerrard! Hello! Here we go!
Reece breaks down the left, swings and across. Gerrard, the captain, who refused to quit, rises between two defenders, head at bottom corner, and goal. Dida was stunned. Maldini, pointing. And Gerrard? He runs toward the fans. Arms up. Come on! Not a celebration, a battle cry. 3-1. Still 2 goals behind. Still unlikely. But now, they believed. Milan tries to reset, slow the tempo, but Liverpool keep pushing. Luis Garcia darts into the box. Pulled down? The ref says no. The ball rolls loose. Schmeichel picks it up 25 yards from the goal, and he strikes it.
Xabi Alonso, Hamann. Hit by Smica. It's in! It's in! Vladimir Smica! 2 goals in 2 minutes for Liverpool!
It's not pretty. It skids. Dida misjudges it, but it's in. 3-2. The stadium erupts. Benitez punches the air. Gerrard screams. Suddenly, it's no longer a formality. It's a final again. And now, Milan wobbled. You could feel it. Pirlo, for the first time, hesitated. Maldini barked instructions.
To find some attacking intent now.
Kaká looked up, but saw red shirts swarming.
Just only 11 different finalists.
For 50 minutes, they'd been dancing. Now, they were drowning. Gerrard bursts into the box again. Gattuso clips him, just enough, and it's a penalty.
Oh, she's laid it off. It's Gerrard. He was held. He's given the penalty. He's given the penalty.
The roar is deafening. Xabi Alonso steps up, calm, composed. The whistle blows. He strikes it.
Oh, saved by Dida, Xabi Alonso! And mission impossible is accomplished.
Dida saves it, but the rebound falls kindly. Alonso reacts. First to it, and goal. 3-3 in 6 minutes. From dead and buried to level. The Liverpool end is shaking. Grown men weeping, arms raised to the heavens. The Milan end, silent. They weren't used to this, not like this. You could try to explain it tactically. Talk about the midfield shift, Hamann's control, Gerrard's drive. But really, it was something else. Spirit, madness, destiny. 3-3, 6 minutes of chaos. But what followed was even harder. Because now, it became about survival. The comeback was done, the fairy tale had caught up, but now came the fight. Milan were stunned, but not broken. These weren't kids, they were champions.
Hit by Seedorf!
Maldini pulled them into a huddle. Gattuso clenched his fists. Ancelotti made no panic subs. The plan stayed the same. Attack, control, win. Liverpool had burned so much energy. Hamann, brilliant, was now limping. Garcia began to fade. Schmeichel, exhausted. They dropped deeper, defending with every ounce of grit they had. 3-5-2 became more like a 5-4-1. Gerrard started playing at right wing back. Yes, the captain, covering the flank, chasing Kaká. Because that's what the game needed. Milan pushed forward. Pirlo began to see more of the ball. Crespo was still sharp. Shevchenko started lurking in dangerous spots. Every cross felt like a bomb. Every corner, a threat. Liverpool, tired, injured, cramping. But they held, in the extra time. The 117th minute, Milan's best chance. Kaká sends in a cross. Shevchenko heads it, point blank. Dudek somehow saves. But the rebound falls straight back to Sheva. He hammers it from 6 yards. Dudek is already falling. He throws himself blindly. The ball hits him in the arm. It doesn't go in. It doesn't go, somehow. If Istanbul had one miracle, this was the second. That save, that moment, it defied logic. And Milan knew it. Shevchenko just stood there, hands on his head. He knew. Minute 120. The whistle blows. 22 exhausted men collapsed to the ground. Milan had all the chances. Liverpool had all the momentum. But now, it would come down to penalties.
It'll be a penalty shootout. It's an unjust way, in many respects, to settle such an unbelievable football match.
After 120 minutes of madness, it came down to this. Penalties, 5 kicks, 1 trophy. Liverpool were running on fumes. Milan were trying to steady their nerves. And in goal for Liverpool, Jerzy Dudek, he wasn't a superstar, but he had a plan. Distract, delay, dance. Just like Grobbelaar in '84.
Penalty from Milan. Oh! Not even close. Not even.
Spino skies it. Advantage Liverpool.
Our man to give Liverpool the advantage. Oh, that'll do. That'll do nicely.
Hammond scores. 1-0 Liverpool. Below.
He's done it! Terrific stop.
Saved by Dudek. Still 1-0.
Gibril Cisse. 2-0. Brilliant. Harman and Cisse.
Cisse scores. 2-0.
Thomason. He scored. The man off the...
Thomason scores. 2-1.
No more room for error for Milan. If Jon Arne Riise can hit the back of the net. Oh, but Dida reached it.
Riise saved. Still 2-1.
The Brazilian Kaká. Dudek with a bit of the Grobbelaar wobbly legs. Fired into the roof of the net by Kaká.
Kaká, goal, 2-2.
It's Schmitzer. Match point Liverpool.
Great penalty that is.
Smiger, goal, 3-2 Liverpool. Shevchenko, Milan's best player, steps up.
Which won the Champions League. For Milan, must score.
Shoots.
He saved it! The European Cup is returning to England and to Anfield. Liverpool are champions of Europe again. The most extraordinary night of football has a most extraordinary finish. Andriy Shevchenko.
Dudek guessed it, and he saved it. And Liverpool win the Champions League. From 3-0 down to 3-2 on penalties. Unbelievable. Unrepeatable. The miracle of Istanbul. When the sun rose the next day, football had changed. Around the world, headlines called it what it was. The miracle of Istanbul. From ashes to glory, 3-0? Not enough. Italian papers called it a tragedy. English papers called it a resurrection. And for once, everyone was right. In Liverpool, thousands poured into the streets, singing, crying, not just for a trophy, but for a memory they'd carry forever. In Milan, it was shock. They didn't just lose, they watched destiny slip away. For Liverpool, a 5th European title. Gerrard became immortal, Benitez became a legend. For Milan, redemption would come in 2007, but the scar remained. For football, it became the match we point to. When we say, don't leave early, it's never over. This is why we love the game. What happened in Istanbul wasn't just a comeback. It wasn't just a trophy. It was a story, a myth, a moment that will outlive every player on that pitch. A night when logic collapsed and football became eternal.